Hi guys, this is Sadiq from Driving.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to go back to the stock MIUI ecosystem from any custom ROM of your choice. So as of now, I'm using the Poco F4 and it has the latest Pixel Experience ROM based on Android 13. As you could see, it's a Poco F4. Just to verify, you could verify the model number as well. It's a Poco F4, and currently I'm using the Pixel Experience ROM which is based on Android 13. So as you could see, if I go to system update, it's the Pixel Experience ROM. So in this video, we'll show you how to go back to the stock MIUI ROM. Do keep in mind that the steps are applicable across all the Xiaomi phones, all the Redmi, Poco and MI phones, and you could go back to stock from any custom ROM of your choice using this guide. So this guide is applicable across all the Xiaomi phones and across all the custom ROMs. So with that in mind, let's get started. First and foremost, please take a backup of all the data on your phone because the process will wipe off all the data. So take a backup and let's then move ahead. So first off, install the Android SDK platform tools. This is the official ADB binary given by Google and is required to execute ADB commands. So download it from the link given in my guide and then extract it onto your PC. In my case, I've done the extraction in eDrive. As you could see, you could extract them anywhere you want. Once that is done, you then have to download the Mi Flash tool on your PC. So download it from the link given in my description and extract them onto your PC. So let me show you. I've already downloaded the tool and extracted them onto my PC. So as you could see, this is the Mi Flash tools folder and these are all the files inside this folder. So download them and extract them onto your PC from the link given in my guide. And once that is done, you have to now download and extract the Fastboot ROM. So for that, you have to download and extract the same Fastboot ROM which correspond to your device and the version number as well. So for that, you could use any third-party site of your choice. In my case, I'm using the Xiaomi firmware updater and my device is Poco F4. So I'm using the Poco F4 and currently my region is India. So I'll be using the India build and make sure it's the Fastboot ROM and not the recovery ROM. And it's better, it's stable. So stable Fastboot ROM corresponding to your region. And in that case, you could also verify the code if you have any screenshot. For example, I have recently made a video on this and I have a screenshot on my device. So let me re-verify the same. You could see it's SLMINXM and here's the same SLMINXM. You could also verify the serial code via the code. This is the IN format which stands for the country region. Currently I'm using the India, so it's IN. So you could verify via that as well, and you could also refer to the MIUI version if you have any prior screenshot of this about phone section on your phone. So in my case, I'm using a Poco F4 of the Indian build, so I'm downloading this Fastboot version. So download the ROM and then once you have downloaded it, it should look something along the following lines. Let me show you. The format will be in .tgz format. So you'll now have to extract it. For extraction, I'll be using the 7-zip tool. You could download any tool of your choice, but I'm using 7-zip. So download and install the 7-zip from its official website. Once you have downloaded it, simply right click on the .tgz file and select open with. And for the first time, you will not see any of this option. So click on choose another app and from here, you have to scroll to the bottom and then select choose an app on your PC. After that, choose the 7-zip folder and select the 7ZFM. This stands for 7Z file manager and click open. This will then add the 7-zip file manager app in the right click menu. So let me show you. So now let's right click on the .tgz folder and select open with and then choose 7-zip file manager. And so as you could see inside the .tgz file, we have the .tar file. So select .tar and click on extract. It will now extract this and you should get the .tar file and it should look something like this as you could see. So now we'll have to extract this .tar file as well. So right click on this and select open with and again choose 7-zip file manager and it will now show you the content. So select the entire folder and click on extract. Once this .tar file has been extracted, you will get the content something as shown here. Likewise, all the partition img file will be inside the images folder. As you could see, all the img and bin format files are there inside this folder and this is the entire Fastboot ROM that we have got. So we'll now be flashing this entire Fastboot ROM file using the Mi Flash tool. So now that we have got hold of the Fastboot ROM, let's now move over to our next step. So let's proceed ahead. Next up, we have got it. You could also verify the steps using the screenshot on my guide if you want. So we have done this. Now we have to boot our phone to the Fastboot mode. So for that, we'll first and foremost have to, you could use two options, either the hardware key combination or using the ADB command. If your phone is currently in a boot loop or soft break, you can use the hardware key combination. This involves powering off your phone, then using the volume down and power key for around 5 seconds, and this will boot your phone to the Fastboot mode. Just to verify, power off your phone, then press and hold the volume down and power keys for a few seconds. Or if your phone is currently working and you could access the OS, then you could also boot via ADB commands. So let me show you the ADB command method. For that, go to the settings menu on your phone. From settings menu, go to about phone and tap on build number 7 times. This will enable developer option. Now go back, then go to system, then go to developer option and enable the toggle next to USB debugging. You will get a prompt, tap on OK. You will again get a RSA fingerprint prompt, tap on always allow. If this is on PC, then tap on allow. And let's now verify the ADB debugging connection. So go to the platform tools folder address bar, type in CMD and hit enter. This will launch the command prompt folder inside the platform tools folder directory, as you could see. Now type in ADB devices and hit enter and make sure you're getting a serial ID. If you're not getting a serial ID, then disable and re-enable USB debugging, unplug and replug your phone from the PC. Likewise, tap on revoke USB debugging, use the official USB cable that came with your phone, and use the USB 2.0 port on your PC. So carry out these USB tweaks and make sure you're getting a serial ID. Once you're getting the serial ID, you could now boot your phone to the fastboot mode. So for that, use ADB reboot bootloader and the phone should now boot to fastboot mode. If you don't want to take this lengthy approach, then simply power off your phone and press and hold the volume down and power keys for a few seconds, and that should also boot the phone to the fastboot mode. So currently my phone is booting to the fastboot mode and it should only take a few seconds. So my phone is Poco and this is the new fastboot mode screen. On some Xiaomi and Redmi phones, the fastboot mode might be showing as shown in the image, and in the Poco phone this is the fastboot screen. So now that you are in the fastboot mode, let's first and foremost verify the fastboot connection. So launch CMD inside platform tools folder, then type in fastboot devices and make sure you are getting a serial ID. If you are not getting a serial ID, then you will have to install fastboot drivers. For that, I made a video as well as a guide. So let me show you. This is the guide and the video. So you could either refer to my guide or video and make sure to install the fastboot drivers using the steps given there. Once you have installed the fastboot driver, you could also re-verify the same using the fastboot device command as shown here. Likewise, you could right click on the Windows icon and select device manager, then expand the Android phone section and make sure your phone is being shown as Android bootloader interface. So as you could see, it's showing as Android bootloader interface. So this signifies that the PC is able to identify the phone in fastboot mode. Likewise, it will also show your serial ID over here. Once you have checked mark both this requirement, it means your phone is now in the fastboot mode and you are now good to go ahead. So now that we are in the fastboot mode, could move over to our next step. So the next step is verify the fastboot connection, which we have already done. So we could now launch the Mi Flash tool and install the drivers. These are optional and in most cases the drivers are automatically installed as soon as you boot your phone to the OS and plug in via USB cable. But just for reconfirmation, we'll once again install these drivers. And as you could see, the Android Win USB is the fastboot driver which we have just installed. But still, let's re-verify the same. So launch the Mi Flash tool. So let's go to the Mi Flash tool folder, and from there you have to launch the tool via the exe file. So it's a Xiaomi Mi Flash.exe file. So launch the tool, and when you launch the tool for the first time, you will get this automatic prompt of driver installation. From subsequent usage, you will not just get this prompt, but you could also manually access from the driver tab. So go to the driver section and click on install. It will then install all these drivers. I've already installed them beforehand. So once you have installed them, you will get install done message and you are then good to go ahead. So let's now move over to next step. So I've already installed the driver. So I'll simply close this dialog box and let's now move over to here. So first and foremost, you will have to click on the select button and load the fastboot ROM which you have just extracted. So let's go access the fastboot ROM. So it's in the D drive and from there it's under the Xiaomi folder. Yes, make sure to select the entire fastboot ROM folder, which is as you could see global images, and not just the image folder. You have to select the entire fastboot ROM folder. So select it and click on OK. After that, you have to choose out of three options clean all. Clean all will reset your device, but the bootloader will remain unlocked. On the other hand, save user data will not delete your data, but it will also not unlock the bootloader. On the other hand, if it's the clean all and lock, then it will reset your phone and also lock the bootloader. This is the most risky approach. Please do not select this. You should always go with clean all method. If you choose save user data, then it might save the data, but due to encryption issue, your phone might not boot. And in case of clean all, it's the most risky approach because if something goes wrong, then the bootloader will be locked and you will not be able to access to the fastboot mode again. So it's better to use the clean all and leave the bootloader unlocked. Once you are booted to the OS, you could then relock the bootloader manually by using the fastboot command or the Mi unlock tool. So it's always recommended to use the clean all option. So once you've selected clean all, Now click on refresh and it should show your device. As you could see, a device is being shown here. It's the same serial ID which was shown in the fastboot screen. As you could see, these are both the same devices. So just to re-verify, we have launched the Mi Flash tool. Click on select and selected the entire fastboot folder. Then we choose clean all, which will remove all the data but leave the bootloader unlocked, and you should always select this option. After that, we hit refresh and we are now getting a device serial ID. Once that's well and good, you could now click on flash and the flashing should now begin. The flashing could take up a few additional seconds. In first time, it could take around up to 100 to 200 seconds as well. It completely depends on the size of the firmware and overall partition that your device has. If it has the super.imd partition as well, then it could take a few additional seconds. So please make sure not to unplug your phone or move it, because it could cause a few troubles. Leave it in that state only and it will now flash the entire firmware, and it could take around up to 2 to 3 minutes. Likewise, I have seen some users have said that once the flashing has been completed, you might get an error message along the following line, which is error not catch checkpoint fastboot lock flash is not done. So this is just a false positive and not any cause of any issue or any concern. It just happens because we have chosen the clean all method, and in reality the flashing has been completed successfully and your phone will definitely boot to the OS. It's just a false positive notion and you have to ignore that. And if you want, I'll also show you in a separate video how you could remove this message, but that's not a cause of any concern. And moreover, you might not get this error message every time. Sometimes the Mi Flash will show this message and the error only happens at the end once your device is booted to the OS, and sometimes it might not even show the issue. So if in case you are getting this error, it's not a cause of concern and you should not worry. The flashing has been done successfully and we are only getting this message because we have chosen the clean all method. In clean all, the bootloader will remain unlocked, and that's why it's just showing the no catch checkpoint flash is not done because fastboot lock. So that is why we are getting this error message. It's not a cause of concern and you should not worry about this. So anyway, let's now keep a track of the progress, and the flashing has now been, as you could see, it's now progress ahead, and it should only take a few more seconds before the flashing is done. And one more thing I would like to show you, as you could see from the Mi Flash tool version, I am using an older version. I have seen across many websites that there are versions of 2020, 21, 22 as well, but all those versions are not working on my Windows 11 PC. So I'm using the version 2018 release, which is working well and good, and it's the same version which I have linked in my guide as well. So I would recommend you to use the same version, which is while it's around 4 to 5 years older, but it's the only version which worked in my case. You are free to use the new version if you want, but in my case this is the only version which worked. I tried a few other versions as well, but I've uploaded the older version as well. It's the only version which worked in my case, and I would recommend you to download this version itself. So just to re-verify, it's the version of 2018 release, and this is the only version which worked for me. So if you want, you could try the newer version. It's completely up to you, but in my case it didn't work, and that's why I used the version of 2018. You could also re-verify the version number from the file name. As you could see, it's 2018 build. So as I told you before, it's completely your choice. You could try the newer version, but in my case it didn't work out, so I'm using this version. And moreover, as I've already told you before, you have to use the clean all method and do not select clean all and lock, because if something goes wrong in the process and you have chosen clean all and lock, then your phone will not boot to the OS, and the clean all and lock will also lock the bootloader. So you will not be able to flash any fastboot ROM whatsoever. However, if you have chosen clean all and if something goes wrong, then even if your phone is not able to boot to the OS, it will boot to the fastboot mode, and we could easily flash the fastboot ROM because the bootloader is currently unlocked. So this is the best bet that you could choose. If you choose save user data, then in my experience, the saving the data only makes the matter more worse, as it leads to encryption and decryption issue and only prevents the phone from booting. So clean all is the best method. That's why I have told you to take a backup as well. So while it will remove all the data, but it's the most safest approach. And let me now show you, it's currently flashing and the time elapsed could take up to 400 to 500 seconds. That's completely normal. So let's wait for the time frame while that's happening. It completely depends on the device as well as the firmware size and the number of partitions that your phone has. Apart from that, I will also like you to show one more thing. If you do not want to use the Mi Flash tool, you could also use the batch file or the batch file, it is known. So the place where you have extracted the fastboot ROM, let me show you. So first we got the .tgz which we extracted. We got the .tar, and after .tar we got these fastboot ROM files. So in the fastboot ROM file, as you could see, we have three files: the flash all. Make sure to see the batch file and not the sh file. Sh is for Mac and Linux. Refer to the batch file. So it's the flash all except storage, and flash all log. So if you don't want to use the Mi Flash tool, you could also use the flash all file. In this case, it will flash everything and it will lock the bootloader. It will remain the unlocked bootloader. In the case of flash all except storage, it will not wipe the data and it will remain, the bootloader will remain unlocked. Whereas in case of flash all lock, it will reset your device and lock the bootloader. So never use this file, and it is also not recommended to use this file. You should always use the flash all file. It will flash all the partition file, clean all the data from your phone, but leave the bootloader unlocked. So if for some reason you do not want to use the Mi Flash tool, you could also use this file. Just to reconfirm and show you this, as you could see, even the tool is also using the same file. As you could see from here, it's also using the flash all.bat. So once you select the clean all file, clean all section, it will automatically pick up the flash all file and then load it over here. And the tool is itself using this flash all file. So if you don't want to use the tool, you could also use this flash all file, or the flash all except storage will erase the data but leave the bootloader unlocked, whereas flash all lock will reset your phone and will lock the bootloader. So as recommended, you should only use the flash all file always. But I would still recommend you to go ahead with the Mi Flash tool. In case you are facing any issues, then only you should go with the batch file. But in a general use case scenario, you should only use this tool itself. So let's now wait for the time frame while it's being flashed, and it could take around up to 500 to 600 seconds for the subsequent usage. And if you are coming from a custom ROM, the flashing might take a few additional minutes. However, if you are flashing from one MIUI version to another MIUI version, then that time frame might be a little bit less, but that's not compulsory. But in some cases, you might see a time frame a little bit longer, and that's also not a cause of concern. Even if the progress bar shows completely green, you should still wait for the time frame and just keep a check on the elapsed file. And over here it's showing the file name as well. You could simply drag the folder and check out the current file which is being flashed. So let me show you that as well. So you could simply extract this, and as of now it's flashing the super img, and this is the super partition which contains all the major files, and it will take the maximum amount of times. All your major system and VB Meta vendor partition file are inside the super.img file itself. So nowadays all the file inside super img file, and it will flash all the files all together. In earlier times there was separate system file, separate vendor, separate vendor boot file, but now it's all under super image file, and it tends to flash all this file together in one go. So that's why it's taking that much time, and it's not a cause of concern. So let's wait while the flashing is going on, and once the super image has been flashed, the rest of the file will not take that much time. The time taking file is only the super.img file. So that's all currently that I would like to discuss, and let's wait for the flashing to complete. And in the meantime, let's show you something else. So currently this is the first time I have just bought a new Xiaomi phone, and I'm now using this phone just for flashing purpose. So currently I have made a couple of videos. Out of this, the first video was how to unlock the bootloader on any Xiaomi phone. I have just made a video and uploaded that. And after that, my second video was how to flash the Pixel Experience ROM and on a Poco F4. Currently I have the Poco F4, and I'll be now making a video on all the custom ROMs, on how you could flash all the custom ROM on Poco F4. Likewise, I'll also show you how to root the Poco F4 and how you could pass the safety net attestation within Poco F4. Likewise, I also make a video on how you could bypass the bypass root and use banking and payments app. The steps will be applicable across all the Xiaomi phones. It's not just for the Poco phone. I'll just use a Poco phone for testing purpose, but you could implement those steps across all your Xiaomi, Poco, Redmi and MI phones. So I'll also making that video, and apart from that, I'll show you the safety net passing and how to install Expose framework, LS patch and LS post apps on your phone as well. So it's quite a long journey ahead, and I'm quite excited to be a part of this Xiaomi family. So I've just started making a videos on Xiaomi, and I'll try to cover all the subjects. If you want me to cover something as well, then please let me know in the comment section of any video, or you could also drop a comment on my article as well. Any article will do, and I'll refer to your comment. I might not be able to reply to each and every comment, but I definitely go through those comments, and then I will try to execute those steps on my phone, and I will record a video of that as well. Apart from that, I'll also show you how to flash the fastboot ROM on a MIUI ROM. The steps will be near about identical as compared to a custom ROM. The steps will be same as well, just that you have to unlock the bootloader as well on a stock ROM. In case of custom ROM, the bootloader is already unlocked, so that's not a cause of concern. So let's now verify the status process, and it's currently still flashing the super img. So let's wait while that's happening. So as I was telling you, you could easily refer to me and tell me all this. For example, flashing matches module, expose framework, subscribe some, and yes, Viper for Android is causing a few issues with Android 13. However, I have found out a workaround using which you could easily install the Viper for Android on your Xiaomi Poco phone, whether it's Android 12 or Android 13. Apart from that, when you root your phone, you might see that the Byte 1 L1 certification will be downgraded to LC. So as a result of which, you might not be able to watch HDR content such as from Netflix, Hulu Plus, Amazon Prime in full HD. It will be limited to 480p only. However, I have found a workaround and a few modules using which you could easily watch Netflix in full HD using a exposed module as well as on the rooted phone. So I'll show you that as well. In some cases, you might not be able to install the Netflix app from the Play Store. So there's also a workaround for that. For that, I'll also make a separate video. Likewise, the safety net fix and how you could use banking apps on your phone. So there is quite a long list of videos which are waiting for me. So I'll try to make each one video every single day, and then I'll upload them as well. So anyways, let me check out the status of the flashing. So the super image has been flashed, and now we are onto the boot image, and these flashing will not take quite a lot of time. So these are, for example, the boot img file should only take a few seconds, and as you could see, we have got the success message. Let me bring it under one window, and on my phone as well, as you could see, my phone is automatically rebooted. So as soon as the flashing is completed and you have got the success message, your phone will automatically boot to the OS. Do keep in mind that the first boot up will take up a few additional minutes because it has undergone a reset and a new firmware has been flashed. That is completely normal, and you should wait for the time frame. And it will also, after the boot animation as well, it might take up a few additional seconds to boot up. So let's now wait for the time frame. You could close the video if you want, but I'll also show you the OS so that you could verify that the flashing is done successfully. So as I have told you, in my case, I'm not getting any error message, but in some cases you might get the error message that I discussed beforehand. Let me show you the same. So as soon as the flashing is complete, you might get the error non-cache checkpoint message. In my case, I have not got this, but in some case you might get a message at this point. So it's completely normal and nothing to worry about. You could easily skip that message and your phone will still boot to the OS. But as I have told you before, I'll also show you a method on how you could fix this issue and remove this error message from the tool. So as you could see, my phone is currently booted to the OS, and currently I have to activate this device as well. So for the first time, currently I don't have any SIM card on my phone, so I'll using the Wi-Fi settings option. So guys, it's done. As you could see, currently I'm booting to the language screen. So let me choose the language English, and the region is India as well. So let's now move over to our next step, and just simply I'll be agree to the terms and condition, and I'll skip this step as well. And so let me skip this as well, and Wi-Fi connected is there. So the first boot up might take up a few additional seconds. That's completely normal and nothing to worry about. So for the time being, I'm skipping all the initial setup, and I'll be directly booting to the OS. So the first time it might take up a few minutes, so let's wait for the time frame. And currently I won't copy any data as well. If you want, you could take a restore as of now itself, but currently I'm skipping the restore section and I'll directly boot to the OS. I will be restoring the data later on from the settings menu. If you want, you could restore right now itself. So currently let me skip the Gmail as well, and I will not be signing into any Google account. So accept terms and condition. Let me skip this as well. So tap on OK, and my phone should now boot to the OS. So let me simply agree to all the terms and condition. So guys, as you could see, it's currently loading the apps, and within a few seconds we should now boot to the OS. So let's wait for the time frame. And so guys, here we are. into the OS, and we are now back to the stock MIUI ecosystem. As you could see, let me show you the settings menu as well. If I go to about phone, so currently I am using the Poco F4 and it's the 13.0.4 SL MI as you could see from here. So guys, on that note, I round off this video. If you have any queries, do let me know in the comment section, and guys, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks.